issues for the rest of her life. And she was a contemporary of Frederick Douglass and John Brown. And if she had not gotten sick, she would have been on that move with John Brown when he went to Harper's Ferry and got those guns and was trying to get us free. Now, he was a white man saying that the only way you Negroes are going to ever get free is to take your freedom. Nobody in power is going to give you power. Nobody in power is going to give up their influence on you or their control over you. They control your women and they control your men. Because any of these sisters sitting here back in those days would have been the wife of a so-called enslaved brother, and the slave master wanted to have sex with your wife, and you try to stand up and defend your wife, they were going to get brothers that look just like you to cut your penis off and then hang you from the neck in the middle of the village. That's how vicious they were back in those days. And for us to forget about it now like it never happened, that's what they call that cognitive business. I can say that word? Business. And that's not going to help us. We've got to face reality. So at any rate, yes, I saw the film. I don't want to give my opinions on it yet, but we have two people here who also saw the film, right? And they're going to discuss their views on it. And let's have some discourse that makes sense out of the situations, right? Okay, so with that said, I'm going to do the opening thing by asking both of them to give a 2 to 3 minute opening statement about their feelings about the film, and maybe something even about yourself and why you were influenced the way you were when you saw the film. You want to start with the Queen first? All right. Florence?
Okay, thank you. First of all, it's a blessing to be here in the presence of community members. I also graduated from Crenshaw High. Tori left out some very important stuff. Taught at Crenshaw High, so it's a blessing and a pleasure to be here. When Tori mentioned my familiarity with the film, I was very honest in the very beginning by saying that at first I was a little bothered that after having this film finally come out, I was a little disappointed that it was being portrayed by an actor. And I told him that, just like Selma. When we finally got a movie about Dr. King, all of the African American actors, generation after generation, who could have easily have played that character, Hollywood had an actor. In all honesty, when I saw the film, it was very powerful to me, and it had some symbolism to me, actually, as I observed an African portrayed here. One, as an African American studies major, the connection between our history and the legacy being brought from Africa. So those were some of the initial perspectives as I observed the film. From a professional critique, wonderfully portrayed in terms of the acting. From the storyline, I think there were some powerful references to the strength of African Americans, the legacy of overcoming, and definitely as a descendant of African slaves, it made me reflect on the fact that I'm very blessed to have been here, given the struggle and journey of my ancestors. So all of those things went through my mind. I also saw some positive references to the notion of African American families. Quite often we hear about the history of us because we were sold. And as a history teacher, I always have to share teaching primarily Latino and African American students that the difference in terms of the exploitation of the two groups is that Native Americans were moved and African Americans were broken apart. So much of the culture of the Native American history remains in Latino communities because of that. So when I saw the bonding despite that in the film, so those were some of the initial positive observations, the bonding in terms of love and family, despite the situation of enslavement. So those are some of the initial. There are a lot. And I know I was going to have to just give it a quick summary, but I have a few seconds and I hope there's more questions with anything.
All right, give it up for Florence, a very astute analysis. Now, hold up.
Guys, if I may, actually have a statement that I wrote in regards to my position. I wanted to collect all my thoughts. I saw the film, and my lens might be a little bit different since I am a filmmaker as well. So I was looking at certain things regarding to the movie from historical context, but also from the context of the filmmaker. So first off, like I said before, you guys know my name is Rashad. I'm a history teacher and a filmmaker from Los Angeles, California. I want to be clear that my address isn't to incite gender warring between black men and women, but I'm here to defend Harriet Tubman's legacy and also the image of black men in media. So with that said, I cannot endorse this motion picture of Harriet. I previously discussed this, and my reason for this in my YouTube video, Harriet Tubman is an icon of black empowerment, not feminism. But for the sake of this discussion, I'll keep my focus exclusively on this film. So first of all, I think that hiring Cynthia Reaper was a mistake in the title role for a variety of different reasons. Not just because she doesn't share the lineage of Harriet Tubman's AUS, American descendants of slaves, but also because of her statements, disparaging remarks towards African Americans within this country or association and affiliation with internet personality development, who has a history of spewing anti-black American rhetoric towards a foundation of black people in this country. In addition, I never once bought into her portraying the character. Her acting was flat. And just knowing what I know about Harriet Tubman, she was quite a ballsy woman, and she went on 19 recorded missions in the South to free slaves from captivity. But every single moment I saw Cynthia Reaper on screen, she looked afraid, she looked intimidated, unsure of herself, and I'm always thinking of the image of Harriet Tubman with a shotgun and thinking to myself, is this the same woman that would let a slave master run away from them? If she had a chance to shoot them? I don't think so. But that's Hollywood, what can I say? I wasn't buying it for 1 second. As for the direction of this particular film, there were several flaws I saw, particularly the biggest flaw was the exclusion of showing specifically how Harriet Tubman acquired that large gaping scar across her forehead. As Ray highlighted earlier, he stated that this came from her confrontation with an overseer who nearly killed her, left her having blackouts for the duration of her life. And during that time, that's when she decided that it was time for her to leave the plantation and actually become a freedom fighter. Okay, all right. One other thing about the direction. I had a big problem with was the inclusion of the character Big or Long. And I don't know what kind of films that the director and the people who made this movie have been watching, but I'm betting that the miser technique wasn't necessary for them to get the character, but I digress. So I'll highlight more of this a little bit later on, but I wasn't asking of this film. I think it's ahistorical, and it's definitely a problem for us as AUS people when we need to take control of our own image and show icons the way they should be portrayed and not rely on white supremacy Hollywood to show the forms. Thanks.
Let's give him a round of applause. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but both of these beautiful black people up here work in the black community. Both have been committed to black struggles. Crenshaw High, another Morehouse brother up here, and Howard over here. So both have been committed to black struggle. Both are very articulate, and both have their own perspectives on the same film, right? So I want to ask this question just for historical purposes. Are you in favor of people seeing the film, sister? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you in favor of people seeing the film, brother?
Absolutely not.
All right, so we have two different perspectives, two different opinions, two different ways of looking at it. And if you look at our history, I want you to notice this. Would you agree that W.E.B. Du Bois is a hero of Black America? Would you agree? Let me show you how it is. Would you also agree that Booker T. Washington is a hero of Black American history? How about Marcus Garvey? All right. We all know historically that Du Bois and Booker T had serious disagreements. And if we jumped ahead another 60 years, we'd see those same differences manifest in the philosophies of Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. But all of those people who are committed to Black struggle, brothers and sisters of you listening, is that right or wrong? Because right, just clap your hand one time. So we've always had disagreements. If we go back, we know that Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman had disagreements. Now, if I could throw John Brown in there, who was a white man, who gave his life and the life of his children for Black struggle. Tubman was supposed to be with him, as I said earlier, right? Now, this is my statement. I'm going to bring back to the system. Anybody know what movie came out in 1915? You know what the movie is? It's an epic film in Hollywood. 1915. If you don't know that, Black people, you're going to the movies and you don't know the history. Right? The movie is called Birth of a Nation. Everybody say that. Birth of a Nation. We teach this in my high school class. When that film came out, it changed the image of Black people in America. It portrayed us as rapists, as lazy, shiftless Negroes who were lusting after white women and had no political responsibilities whatsoever, right? Our dedication to our communities. And that movie, people took as real life. So, showing that movies have power. I just wanted to make that statement as we go back to my sister, and I want you to tell people why they should see this film, sister. Can I actually do that?
You gonna tell me a time again?
No, I give you 3 to 5 minutes.
So I think I should preface this with the reality of African American representation in the media in general. Because for decades, I'm sure we all know, the only images we saw of African Americans were pimps and drug dealers and so on and so forth. So the representation of African American period in films was very one-sided. So with all due respect, I do understand my fellow panelists in terms of his concern with the representation, but from my perspective, there is an economic issue tied to filmmaking. And in a capitalist society, everybody has the opportunity to make films. And so I do agree that we should generate our own. And no one will stop anyone with funds from making their own. So I might celebrate a film created by whoever in Hollywood if it portrayed images that I thought also celebrated icons of history. This was one that did that. And because so many of our children rarely ever see that, I think that there is a positive initiation in terms of children understanding their history. Because for me as a history teacher, the struggle with racism in America stems from the fact that we thought integrating classrooms would change perspectives. For me, it never changed because we never integrated content. It doesn't matter if you sit Black children in a white school if Black children are still seeing books that don't represent them. That's where we fail. So for me, a film like Harriet gives one example of access to our contribution and our legacy in this country. It doesn't mean there doesn't have to be other examples. And I think that's one of the struggles, that we as people criticize one representation and sometimes there are none. It doesn't mean the door is closed to another representation. But as a high school teacher, I sort of celebrate the fact that there is now some representation of this historical icon that never existed before. So let the door be open for someone else to paint a more accurate picture, because that's the beauty of capitalism.
All right. Now, I think nobody's not going on. Good job, man. Some angry Negroes out here. Anyway, back in 1992, the Malcolm X film came out, and everybody was all excited, and the film broke records and stuff like that. And I was the guy, from his perspective, in the sense that I didn't say people shouldn't go see the film, but I knew that the portrayal of Malcolm X was not 100% historically accurate. I understood Spike's position also as a filmmaker. You got to get it to a point where people would want to come and see the film. So if you did a straight Malcolm X thing, you might as well do a documentary, right? So again, my perspective is, and I'm gonna put it out now, is that if we are depending upon Hollywood to teach us our history, to give us our culture, we're in bad shape. If you depend upon your historical enemy to do something for you, you're out of your black mind. And you need to go back and do something for yourself. So, I think what the sister's saying here bears some truth. That you can take some elements of that film and turn it into a positive. Did we do that with Christianity? They brought you over here on a good step Jesus, good ship Jesus. And told you all to believe in a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus that was going to come back one day, and some Negroes are still waiting for him to come back, and it's been over 2,000 years. And some of them mad at me right now for just saying it. They're waiting for Jesus to come back and save them, and it ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. Because you got to save yourself, and that's what we did in one of those days in slavery. Go ahead on, brother. Why do you think people shouldn't see this film? Be very clear.
Well, I mean, the reason that I don't believe that people should see this movie is it's not the fact that, and what you said is absolutely true, that no historical film, no biopic will be 100% historically accurate. I know with Malcolm X, with the character of Brother Man, they amalgamated several people in Malcolm's life into one character. That's done a lot of times for the narration's sake and also for the sake of time and continuity. But I think the most egregious thing that I saw with this particular film is the fact that they chose to insert such a character that did not exist within Harriet Tubman's story and didn't exist within American history. Because this character, Big Long, this black bounty hunter that you saw within this film, not only did this character exist with Harriet Tubman and Harriet Tubman's story, but during the 1850s, which was the most turbulent time during that century within America's history, you had a law that was re-implemented in Maryland that put all the slaves, all the black people in Maryland back into slavery because of the fact that you had individuals, not the future slave law, but within the state of Maryland specifically, they didn't just put the slaves out of bondage, kept them in slavery, but free slaves, they put them in slavery. Because many of them were seen as being collaborators of the Underground Railroad. So all the conductors that you saw of the Underground Railroad throughout the country were at this point in jeopardy, and all the black people within Maryland were put back into slavery during 1857 all the way until the beginning of the Civil War. So it would have been historically impossible to sit up and see this black bounty hunter existed, given a gun, and told by white men who were slave owners, we want you to go out and capture the most wanted woman within the United States of America. That would have never happened. And all this is doing is creating more division between black men and black women, and we don't need that. We need to heal among each other. We don't need more devices in this. And that's the reason why I tell people not to see this movie.
All right. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let me just offer this in respect of your perspective. How many people read the Bible? How many people heard of Moses, Abraham, Noah, Lot? What did Noah do? He made an ark. Have you ever seen it? You know of anybody else who ever seen it? Moses parted the what sea? Moses parted the Red Sea. You believe that? Do you believe that Moses parted the Red Sea, black people? You believe Jesus walked on water? Huh? You moonwalked. I'm not here to tell you what to believe and what not to believe. But the symbolism of a Moses parting the Red Sea can inspire you. Is that right or wrong? The symbolism of it. Just the thought of it. The symbolism of a black man becoming the president of the United States can inspire people. Is that right or wrong? Go ahead.
And I do really differ with the portrayal in terms of my fellow panelists indicated that she seemed weak. And I saw a totally different take on that. For me, in watching the film, it just made me an aesthetic difference in terms of film and whatever. but she seemed strong to me. As a matter of fact, she was adamant and focused and determined. I think any student who saw the film, if we were to ask to identify some adjectives, these are adjectives, would you not agree? That she was determined and dedicated and focused. These are adjectives that students would have to list in defining her in watching that film. And that's important because those are sort of the same adjectives we want students to embody, particularly in urban communities. So those were very powerful adjectives. Even when she was told it was dangerous, she said, I gotta go back and get my family. So I did not see the weak portrayal of them. And as a filmmaker, maybe you have a different slant. But for me, and maybe in defining whether there were some emotional shifts, there was some monotony in her acting, and for me, that was because she seemed so stoically focused on carrying out her task. But I do think students will walk away with those adjectives that I just referenced. Dedicated, committed, determined. And as an educator, that's what I want kids to remember when they see the story of Harriet.
Oh, she got you, bro. I want the brother to smile while everything. We have my sister, Alicia, here. She saw the film and she has a perspective on the film. So give us your 3-minute synopsis of what you saw and whether you think people should see it or not.
Hello. Sorry for stepping in a little late. I think that I missed what everyone else has to say. But for me, personally, I did see the film, and I thought that it was
All of the hungry people have to be quiet.
I thought it was a good film, but I also felt that there were things that we might expect people to depict in our own stories, and I believe that the expectation is kind of high that everything would be depicted as accurately and as factual as someone who would be telling the stories themselves. And I believe that with that, when we watch the film, we need to be intelligent enough to take away what was positive and what was true, and the aspects of the film that had been told before through the stories that people know traditionally, through Black history or other films that we've watched. One of those things being, there was a Black bounty hunter. One of the things that I got out of that was that, not just that this person was, a bounty hunter catching Black people for the white people. That's the obvious. The thing that I got is that I found it quite interesting that there was someone, or there were people in that time, when everyone else was supposed to either be a house slave or a mill slave, that was actually not in that same, situation. They were literal rebels and outsiders, probably like fending for themselves. And I thought that that was a different image from the idea that I had from a child, that everyone was just a slave, either beat up or, but people really out there fighting. Of course, the white man killed him at the end, but at the same time, they didn't seem too afraid to live in that time and to be out there around to challenge the white man to fight, to kill, whatever it was. And I thought that was a different depiction because it reminds me of things that I've heard historically about how we never really acquiesced to slavery, and about all of the warrior women and men that actually fought to the death and stood for freedom. And people might not like this, but it also reminded me of Kanye West's statement that slavery was a choice. So the depiction and really getting into what did you mean by that statement and what choices were available to people. I don't think that it meant, hey, we said, yeah, make us a slave kind of thing. But some people chose to actually fight. Some people chose to find other ways. Some people chose to die. And some people chose to run. The other thing I wanted to say about Harriet is that ultimately I knew people were at odds about Cynthia Erivo, the British actress. I thought she did a job, well as could be expected. And like the sister said here, I felt that you could see that it was her determination to do this character justice. Whether she knew a lot about the background or not, I'm not sure. But I do believe that according to what was given to her and what she thought she needed to do, she did a pretty good job. Ultimately, I thought it was a pretty decent film, but I think that people need to take away the positive, the negative, the truth, the ill depiction, all of those things, put it together and accentuate the positive and focus on that and re-educate our people, especially younger generations, based on those things. And if there are differences, then we are the ones that have to explain those to our people.
Yes.
Very good. Y'all give her a round of applause. Now, here's what I want to say. How many people in here support the boycott of the NFL? Raise your hand. Let me ask you a question again. I want you to put your cameras on there, people. How many people in here support the boycott of the NFL? Keep your hand up for a second. Okay, more than half of the people in here don't support it. That means they're looking at NFL games. So, if you're not looking at it, somebody else is. Sisters, I know all y'all ain't interested in sitting down looking at the football game. Unless your husband make you. But what's my point? What's my point? Real quick. Y'all know what happened last week. The NFL set up a workout for Kaepernick. They sent 25 leaders of the NFL teams down there to Atlanta, Georgia, I think it was Atlanta, to do the workout. When Cap was given a sheet of paper to sign, basically signing away his rights, he refused and he said, I tell you what, since I said I was going to work out, I'm going to keep my promise. I'm going to keep my commitment. But we're going to work out at a high school about an hour and a half away from here. And I'm going to have my cameraman in there, and I'm going to have my receivers, who I've been working with, to catch the football when I throw it, so y'all can't put out no propaganda. Stephen A. Smith, who's one of the top leading voices, Negro voices in the media right now, in sports, in politics, came out and condemned Kaepernick for having the gall to thwart the NFL and hold his own workout. So now, a lot of people respect and love Stephen A. Smith. I look at his show every day. But at the same time, I have to disagree with the brother, because how can you trust a league that effectively barred you from making money for the last 3 years, only because you sat on one knee and said, police, please stop killing black men in the street, like my brother Dino does all the time. Stop killing black men in the streets. I'm just going to get on my knee. I'm not disrespecting your flag. I'm not putting down the military. All I'm doing is doing my constitutional duty and getting on my knee, and I'm asking y'all to stop killing us. And you still have Negroes sitting here right now looking at football every Sunday. Now, if you want to argue about this movie, we can argue about it. But at the end of the day, you make your own decisions about what you're going to do. Right? Some of us look at football, some I ain't mad at nobody. I look at basketball every day. Hell, LeBron scored 30 points last night. Right? But we might have to be realistic about this. So here's the question. Why are black people still, in 2019, with a confirmed white supremacists in the White House, why are we still so divided on so many issues? Cap is only one. I'm going to ask all of the panelists here to answer the question, why are black people still so divided on so many issues? I can go down a whole lot of other lists. But I'll just go with the Kaepernick and the Harriet movie, and you can tell us again, sister.
I think I just mentioned it as an educator. When our school systems define integration as physically moving children from predominantly black communities into white schools on most buses, they did not integrate content. So we've had decades of children of all colors not learning the truth. And that's why integration failed. And I have complete respect for all of my forefathers who risked their lives for integration. I became an educator because of them. I was 3 when Dr. King was killed. But I realized, and that's why I majored in African American Studies, that the problem is content is not integrated. And as long as you educate in our schools without everybody knowing the truth, you're going to continue to have a legacy of racism. And I have to interject this as an African American Studies major. I know my co-panelist referenced the fact that he didn't believe that the representation of the black, yes. So now, Bridget Douglas had 2 statements that resonated with me. He said, 1, power does not proceed without demand. Nobody's giving up power unless you take your power. And 2, he would warn those slaves who were telling on other slaves They may come for me tonight, but they'll come for you in the morning. And so the reference in both of those statements suggests that there may very well have been folks who were sacrificing the freedom of all for their individual freedom. So I don't know whether that was an accurate portrayal. I don't know. I do know that there were folks who were throwing people under the bus because they thought that's where we get this today's concept of house niggas and field. I hate the term, but that's where we get the concept of those two things. Because one did what they needed to have more freedom than another. So I don't know if that was inaccurate. And finally, one film that most people completely loved was Hidden Figures. I know I loved it. Showed it, still should. But there are still people who suggest that there was some inaccurate portrayals in that film. But we would never say children shouldn't see. We would take as many people on a bus to see that film as possible. So I just have to, I'm finished.
All right. But Brother Tyreek and Brother Umar Johnson are completely separate. They act like they hate each other. They be gang banging online. Now, if they change that, you let me know. If they change that, we got to talk about it. I hope they shook hands on it and got out of all that ignorance. But for a while, there was some serious ignorance going on online. That was like a year ago. Okay, that's good to hear. Bring me up to date. All right, brother, yeah, you go.
Well, with Black Bounty Hunter, it's not a matter of whether or not the information was accurate. Because what's known is that there's no record of that, particularly the Harriet Tubman story. But the other issue is the propaganda that's being used in this film. Every filmmaker has an agenda. And if they tell you they don't, they are not being honest with you. All filmmakers have an agenda. And clearly with this particular film, the agenda did not go, was not just to tell Harriet Tubman's story, because if they want to have a bounty hunter, why not have a white bounty hunter? Why have a white female bounty hunter? That did exist. There's historical records of that. But to conveniently insert a black bounty hunter, a male black bounty hunter, who's this adversarial towards black women is irresponsible. And that's part of the reason why I don't support this film. Now, to answer your question about why is it that we're still in the condition that that we're in terms of us not being on the same page, it does go back to what Sister over here just said. We're still dealing with Willie Lynch complex. Willie Lynch complex. Where no people are never on the same page. But I think that we do need to be on the same page when it comes to things that matter. We need an economy for ourselves. You can take a look at our community, we still don't own anything. Most of the businesses in our community are owned by people who are not members of our community. And that's the first thing that we need to get under control, is that we need to have an economy for ourselves. Without an economy, there are no places for us to work. Without an economy for ourselves, we can't control the politicians. Without an economy for ourselves, we can't sit up and live. So we need to first get an economy for ourselves. And once we do that, then everything else will fall in place.
Okay, thank you, brother. Again, the question was, I want my sister to take a crack at this one also. Why are black people in 2019 still so divided on so many issues? Religion, politics, spirituality, economics, education, etc. Some of us say we need to open our own schools. Some say go into the system and change it from the inside. Why are we so divided in 2019?
Well, I believe that the reasons why we're divided in 2019 have a lot to do with where we place our belief and where we place our energy, where we place our resources, and where we place our action. Ultimately, I find that the main things that divide us as a people are things like religion, things like politics, things like history, things that we don't know enough about to actually dispute with each other. And I also find that if you look at models outside of our own community, not to follow them because they're actually following us, but we've gotten so far away from our own practices and our own principles, and we do not remember. The generations have been wiped out. A lot of us now, our generations are not going back 3 or 4 generations like how a lot of our parents and our grandparents So the information that's being passed down is being lost, as well as much as we believe in systems that have not been conducive to our communities, our children, and our people, specifically religion. I want to say that, and I want to be clear about it, because the things that we believe are also the things that make us hate each other, the things that make us not want to listen to one another, and the reasons why we can't come to any agreement, because at the moment and the point of time that a lot of us are confused about what the answers are, we turn to anger and hate towards each other. When in these other communities, they don't believe everything that each other say. They have come to a point where they realize that, hey, we are not going to be clear about everything, but we need to be clear about some things. And the things that they've done is, to me, they've made sure that they maintain generational wealth, as well as tradition, custom, language, all of these different things that have us as a people confused. We don't know who we are. So we don't know who they are, who this person is, and who that person is. I believe we don't study our oppressor nothing. They study us tooth and nail. They know everything about us, our history, the more we have our records, the back in 6 miles of black Madonna. So with all of this stuff, we don't know enough about these people. Now, if we're in their systems and we're being educated where they're being educated, we stand to learn by default. But usually the numbers are very small. Then when those people come out of those systems and say, hey, you know what, this is what I learned, like the war prayers written by Mark Twain, we need to understand their literature, we need to understand how they think and why they think the way they do. Because their effort and their agenda has been to know us and to know us better than we know ourselves. And we're still living in their systems, by their ways, by their agendas, and we're still voting for the president. And a lot of us know we don't decide those votes. So why don't we vote when these local elections come up? Why don't we question these politicians that come to the churches? Why aren't the churches being held accountable for what they're siphoning from the communities? And they're not doing anything back. So why isn't the truth being told to us, and why are we seeing it more? We need to be cultivating lawyers and doctors and politicians coming from our community that care about us, that care about where we're coming from. Even Kaepernick did more than what Obama did.
Watch out. Give us just a round of applause, y'all. I love our black women because they come with that passion and that fire. You know what I'm talking about, Wadada? Y'all give it up for one of the legendary musicians on the planet, Wadada. Poo-Poo, right here in our midst. How many of y'all sitting in the audience heard of a brother named Oscar Mishaw? Raise your hand, Oscar Mishaw. Filmmaker. All right, thank you, filmmaker. Did all kinds of films back in the day. Put the films in the back of his trunk, drove around America, paid the man for the theater, opened up the theater and showed his films. Now we got Tyler Perry. How many people are in favor of what Tyler Perry did? Raise your hand. Y'all can't just sit here and listen, y'all gotta participate. How many people are in favor of what Tyler Perry did opening that studio in Atlanta? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most of the people in here either don't give a damn or not in favor of it, or they're studying for their next test next week. He says the studio is one thing, and the films that he's making is another. But my question is this. There's a black man that owns a major studio larger than Warner Brothers and Sony and all of them combined. And his name is Tyler Perry. Now what we gonna do? Last week, well I said, what we gonna, he already did what we gonna do. Whether you like him or not, he opened that damn studio. Now I can go down there and have a meeting with Tyler Perry and say, Tyler Perry, I want a movie about Marcus Garvey. You feel me? You hear me, sister? I'm saying, I'm not expecting him, I was a harsh critic of Tyler Perry. I'm tired of seeing the brother run around in the dress. Right? But hey, that's his thing. Tyler Perry went to school with my little brother at Coyne High School in Uptown New Orleans. So we knew Tyler Perry had issues 30 years ago. So I'm cool with that, right? Because I ain't about to change him. But I tell you what, let's you and I can get some other brothers and sisters together that go on there and meet with Tyler Perry and ask Tyler, can we make a movie about Marcus Garvey, about the Harlem Renaissance, about Reconstruction, huh? Can we make movies about things that we want to see? Why haven't there been any black filmmakers making films about the Nile Valley civilizations? Why haven't any black filmmakers made films about the West African civilizations, Timbuktu, and so on and so forth? What are we about? Most movies make about romantic comedies. That's the only thing we can make is romantic comedies. Anyway, was that my statement?
And I was just mentioning to him that, now how often have you guys heard African Americans say, I'm tired of seeing these slave movies, or I'm tired of seeing movies about slavery? How frequently do we hear that? Let's be real. And the sad thing is that we still don't know the entire legacy of slavery. That's why it comes out. And he and I know that there is a commitment in Hollywood. Jewish people have committed to have a movie about the Holocaust every year, and it never fails. Even if it's subliminal, like the movie I just saw, I didn't know it was going to end with the Holocaust. You heard about the movie The Good Life. It ends, I'm giving it away, I'm sorry. But in any case, they made a commitment that if they have to pound it against your head, never forget. But for some reason, we're uncomfortable every time somebody wants to tell our story. So just think about that.
Oh, by the way, Gaddafi, we're making this commitment in front of everybody. We're going to send him to college. He's 18 years old and he wants to go to college. The reason he's not in college right now is because he can't afford it. Now, why in the hell is an ex-slave got to pay any dollar to go to school in America? So everybody in here, give me $10 and let's start right now. We're going to send this brother to college. If you got $5 right now, before we leave out here, let's everybody put up $5 and put it in his bank account so we can jumpstart your college fund, all right?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Let you go. Give it to me. I'm going to give it to you.
All right, so I want to say, and I've said this multiple times, at least a million. This is nice. This is not only nice, but this is beautiful. We have a lot of black people here, and we have a lot of ideas that need to be heard. However, the only way for those ideas to progress is to have a youngster, say someone like me, or somebody younger, who can take that idea and marinate it and shoot it to the top. That's what we do. We need to talk to all of our kids, all of our children. We can't have these ideas in our head and skip it out on the generation right below. So that doesn't make sense. That's not what's happening to the people that are really getting up there. So if y'all really want to get y'all, money and progression and ideas and innovation on, then damn it, we need to talk to our kids. And that's it.
So we're about to make our closing statements. And yesterday we had our panel over at the Third Church for Spiritual Living. I don't know how many people know that church is over there. But it's the Third Church for Spiritual Living. We did that yesterday. We had a panel called 1619 to 2019, From Slavery to Liberation. And we had a panel with scholars. And after the panel was over, I asked everybody in that circle to provide one solution to the challenge or the problem that we were talking about. Right? So I want all y'all to put your thinking caps on right now. I want you to think of one solution that we can implement to change the conditions that we're talking about right now, where it concerns black images on film. One solution. But here's the question. Here's the question for the panel. In terms of, well, I guess it'd be the same. I guess it'd be the same question. Before we leave here, what is the solution? What are we going to do next? What is our next steps where it concerns films? Because Hollywood is going to keep producing films. Hollywood has endless financing. They have endless monies. In fact, anybody in here can go and be an extra tomorrow and they give you $110 for 8 hours. And all you got to do is stand around and look crazy. A friend of mine was in the movie Dolomite. How many people see the movie Dolomite with Eddie Murphy? Huh? Damn, you don't want to do nothing. Anyway, let me stop. So, as we close out, we want to provide solutions to this issue of black images in film, historical inaccuracies, fallacies, lies, whatever was negative about the film Harriet and other films that we've seen, because films coming out every day. They got a film called Queen and Slim coming out. I think tomorrow or something, sometime next week. Is it Wednesday? And they say that movie's gonna get an Oscar. And the brother who's the lead, who's playing Slim, was born in Nigeria. Or London. Where was it? Uganda. On the African continent. So now we're gonna get mad at him? And he's also playing the role of Fred Hampton, the leader of the Black Panther Party in Chicago in 1969. In his next film, he's gonna play the lead role as Fred Hampton, the Chicago Panther who was murdered by the cops in Chicago in 1969. Daniel Kaluuya, I think his name is. Are you mad at Daniel? Oh, you mad at Mexicans standing on the corner selling oranges, bro? Because they ain't have to stop Mexicans standing on the corner selling oranges. You feel me? So, Ava DuVernay? Yeah.
Why are they making films about Troy Hampton and Harriet Tubman, but they're giving a role to the people that is like?
Okay, we'll let the filmmakers handle that. We state the question.
Brother here asked the question, why are they making movies about our icons using foreign actors, particularly from London? That's where most of these actors come from. That's a very good question. You know, the answer, I'm not absolutely sure. Part of it, I think, Sam Jackson actually talked about this issue publicly. He said that part of the perception is that a lot of people think that they're better trained than American actors, which is not necessarily true. And a lot of them work for lower wages than big name American actors do. You know, but I do think like what you said, that lineage, it does matter in terms of playing iconic characters like that.
We got you, and then we got the sister in the back.
A couple of things. So as we are looking at doing something, there are people who have come before us. So the filmmaker should know who Oscar Micheaux is, should know who Gordon Parks is. The architect should know who Paul Williams is, because Paul Williams created an iconic building which is literally a symbol of Los Angeles. And these realtors selling homes, when they talk about homes, they talk about selling a Paul Williams home. So it's important for us to know who they are, and if possible, to walk in their footsteps. Because there are people, we're not creating new terrain. In many cases, we're walking on the footsteps, walking in the shadow of people who've accomplished things that we can actually increase. As far as foreign actors, I've worked with a foreign actor. I worked with Adrian Lester on the movie Primary Colors. I was his stand-in for the entire movie. And yet, he was better trained than most actors I've ever met. Now, I have an Emmy Award, I've been on television, I speak Spanish, I worked on a film in Spain, I was on TV in New York. You cannot work under a Screen Actors Guild contract in America and get less than you would if you were working in Europe. So your agent, and the way these actors work, if they are represented by William Morris Endeavor, United Talent Agency, Creative Arts Agency, they will look at how they're going to manage your actual contract for that film. It will have to be within the context of Screen Actors Guild actor wages. And then how they're going to create what's called your quote. So if I'm going to work below what is quoted for someone, I am most likely going to have a no-quote deal. But what they do in Hollywood is this. They look at how much the budget is going to be, and then they decide how they're going to get distribution and financing. And if I can get somebody from a Spanish-speaking country, if I can get somebody from England, I can take the risk and share the risk. I'm not completely exposed, and I can get distribution for that film, for that TV show in the country. I want to get revenue. So now, Sony.
Wrap it up in 30 seconds so we can go to the
So Sony, Warner Brothers, they're great. They might not be bigger than, and I'm not sure about that, but they have the library. So what makes even Lorimer Pictures, which no longer exists, is the library. MGM, the library. If you have the library, then you can continually make money off of the distribution on all of these streaming platforms by owning it. I don't know what Tyler Perry's library looks like.
Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. You never know who's in the audience. Go ahead, sister. You got a question? Did you want to come on the mic?
No, it's okay.
Does your voice sound like Michael Jackson? Put a little Barry White in your voice.
So just to reiterate what he stated in regards to how SAG works and the Writers Guild, it's all about union fees. So they're going to go ahead and look for other people out of the country to pay less because they don't want to go ahead and pay those union fees. So it's just reiterating what he was stating. example, the person who knows more so in regards to how the film industry works and how they contract these actors. I'm sure you guys know who, or maybe Ezzy Morales. No? La Bamba, right? Okay. So my uncle is, I'm not sure if you remember, his name is, Luis Valdez. He's a writer and the director of La Bamba. And he also did the Zoot Suits riots, the play and the whatnot. He constructed the whole entire the playground for that. So when Ezzy Morales was trying to get into Hollywood, stepping his foot, he was running to become president of SAG because he understands how this works. The elites basically, it almost made it like into this political thing. It was just kind of like this tiger trying to like take him out because they knew that he was going to go ahead and expose and start, telling the truth, how it works. So then they put somebody else to be, president of SAG. But that's okay. He's still continuing to do what he does in regards to being an activist. If you guys want, so if you guys want, in regards to know more about how to get your foot in regards to even to get to Tyler Perry, your key is Ezzy Morales. You go talk to him, and he'll go ahead and make it happen for you with Tyler Perry. That's all I'm saying.
If we're talking about solutions, I just have to throw out, because sometimes we forget, because I know we're in a different climate, particularly under the the president, but keep in mind that he had no problem with Sidney Poitier for years. Sidney Poitier is from the Bahamas. We had no problem with Idris Elba.
How about Harriet?
Harriet Belafonte, we go on and on. So I know we're under a different climate, but we do, as people of color, respect gifted artists. And we, particularly us, we do not put those biases that other cultures do on people. If it's good art, it's good art. That's one thing that we typically do in our community. So there's a legacy of people who portray African American roles who are not African American. I mean, that's a reality.
What is an African American? No, don't go there. No. Get away. She had a question.
I only have one thing. In the words of the great Q-Tip, in regards to actors playing historical characters.
Do you need to have a bomb?
Yeah,
Q-tip.
black is black.
Yes.
I actually. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deshay. So I don't have a solution for the entertainment industry. I feel like that's probably part of our problem, and we're always looking to other people in entertainment to answer our daily issues. That's right here. We don't have to turn on the TV to see what's going on in our community. It's right here. And as far as talking about other Africans in the diaspora, we're all black. We're all African content. So as long as we're on TV and there's positive images, it doesn't matter if they're from England, it doesn't matter if they're from right here. All that matters, exactly, he's from Haiti. All that matters is that we know that we're all one and that we're all connected. So the solution that I do have is there's a ballot measure that's going on right now in LA County that's called Reform LA County Jails. And what this ballot measure does is it prioritizes mental health treatment centers in the community, just like this one, where there's so many people who need care. When it comes to black people, we're not allowed to have mental issues, but we have the most trauma. We're not allowed to make mistakes because of things that we've experienced in our past, and all we do is get thrown in jail. So this ballot measure speaks to that. It is to hold the government accountable. LA County currently has 70% of our people in jail for mental health treatment centers or for mental health illness or because they can't afford bail. So I just want to take this time to inform you all that there is something going on. It may not be in the entertainment industry, but it is important and valuable to our lives. And so what it does is prioritize mental health treatment centers instead of jails in our communities. It redirects the funds that's currently being spent on jails, which is half LA County's budget, back into our communities, into education, into rehabilitation, drug abuse programs, mental health treatment centers, and into housing for the homeless. The last thing it does is it holds the sheriff accountable. It brings transparency into our communities by allowing the Civilian Oversight Commission
by allowing the Civilian Oversight Commission to be able to subpoena the sheriff's department. So what I have here are convincing vote cards. If you're a registered LA voter, you can sign up with me just to get more information and make sure that you vote for this and get it passed.
We never know who's in the audience. We got brother, sister, over here, and sister over here. One more, and then we got to do our wrap up and get up out of here. Because we got a film on Nina Simone like going on right now at the world stage on the great high priestess of soul, Nina Simone. Then we got a film on Diane Carroll called Claudine from 1976. How many people seen that film, Claudine? You see, look around, the generation haven't seen that film, right? I started the show Cooley High. You feel me? Hell, I started the show The Mac. Go deep! Anyway, go ahead, sister. You want to put on mic? Come on, mic. You got to come up here. Yeah. Come on, no, you got to come
I guess my point was this issue of, over here, okay, the issue of non-African.
That mic to the mouth, they can't hear you.
Okay, on the issue of foreign actors portraying slaves in particular, I think that it's true we are all black. However, I believe that there's something intrinsic in the descendants of slaves in terms of our cultural memory, in terms of our DNA, that lends a different perspective in terms of how slaves are portrayed and those attitudes. And so I think for other roles that were mentioned, for example, Sidney Poitier and others, they weren't necessarily portraying slaves, so generally uplifting types of roles. And I think that there may even be some level of fear in the power that an African American or a descendant of slaves can portray these roles that are being put forth. So I guess that's really all I'm saying. There's something in our own cultural memory and in our DNA that is specific to the peculiar institution of slavery as it was practiced in the United States, which is also different than in the Caribbean and in South America and so forth. And that's it.
Very good, very good. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to say, I just want to put this out there. You got a question, bro?
We put this out there first to report, so she got misinformed because it's not only U.S. slaves, it's Caribbean and Brazilian ones too.
There you go.
Okay.
She's saying the institutions were here.
Yeah.
It's been signed as U.S. slaves.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's just saying that it went beyond so-called American-born slaves. But let's say this, man, you messed up my thought there.
But you know what?
Let me say this.
But I have to. So now, I agree with your comment, but we go back to education. There are a lot of folks who are performers who do not have that personal connection, and you see what I'm saying? So you might have a Sidney Poitier who gave a better performance than someone from here, because that person's an actor but didn't connect with the history. So we can't judge based on where we're from, because we got folks in Hollywood that may seem like they're doing a good job, but they have no connection to our history. I'm just saying. You can't assume that performer, because they are from here, they truly know the journey.
But Liverpool, England had some of the biggest slave markets.
That's my point.
Liverpool, England.
That's my point. It was an international thing.
I want to say something just to piggyback off of what she's saying. When it comes to historical films, I do believe that lineage does matter. An example of that is, there's two examples I can think of. The first one, this has nothing to do with us as black people, but with the film Schindler's List. Originally, Martin Scorsese was supposed to direct that. And the reason why he turned it down was because he told Steven Spielberg that he couldn't tell that story. He didn't feel he could tell that story accurately because he's not a European Jew. Although he can't tell the story of Goodfellas and a couple of other movies made, Casino, some of the other movies that he made. That's his experience. The same thing applies, I think, when it comes to us as African Americans telling Pacific story. David Blue is a great actor. No one is saying that he isn't. Same thing with Cynthia Erivo. But They are not from here. They don't have they don't have the lineage that we have. They don't understand the nuances that we have just from the fact that you grew up in America and you have that lineage that goes all the way back to American plantations.
Actors, directors, and writers are all
I
different.
want to respect the audience too. Come on, sister, and stand over here and put the mic right here.
I just wanted to say thanks for having this conversation and creating this space. And we're talking about solutions. And one thing that I started to question is why are we still having the same conversation from way back when? What is this about? And then we're so proud of our politicians, and we get the Obamas in there, and with all due respect to the Obamas and the Herb Wessons, and I've just been sitting back watching this thing, and I'm thinking, what really are we thinking when we have all of the examples that things are not adding up? They're saying one thing and we're seeing a whole nother. Our children continue to die. Our children are underperforming in school. We continue to live in the lowest of the low of every area and every continent on the planet. So then I started to think, what is it? For me, the solution has to be the spiritual connection. It is our spiritual walk with whoever created us. And that is what we, in my opinion, need to start to ask the questions. Go into the ether and start asking, can you just reveal this? And constantly do it on a daily. And the most important thing too at the same time is to remain open to one another. Listen to one another. Just like this gentleman had a perspective about, oh yes, it is the West Indies slaves or whatever. Why do we have to attack each other when we have a different opinion? Put it all on the table so that we can decipher and so that we can inform ourselves and take all of our perspectives and then come out with the output. Because like you said, we've been studying for eons, our families, our communities, and we continue to trust every word and everything they tell us. We believe that we voted Obama in. You believe that? Do you really believe that our votes are counting right now? What is running this? Big business. Like she said, if we don't start owning stuff like Nipsey, that's why they killed Nipsey, because Nipsey was speaking to that bottom half, that power, those men that were going to follow his suit. So that's where it's at. It's our spiritual connection. We need to start kicking off these shoes, grounding ourselves to the earth, back to the earth. That's what it's about.
That was really great, and I agree with what you said. The other thing I would like to add is that, like we were saying earlier, about coming to some level of comprehension of each other. It's like, we don't have to agree on everything. We should realize we are different for a reason. Everyone has an input. We need to learn how to use the resources that we are, not just the resources that we have, but we are resourceful people. We're more than spiritual people. We're more than physical. We're more than metaphysical. If we don't understand the nature of us and how we vibrate this planet, the things that we attract to us because of who we are, and we're going to be constantly encouraged because we're going to be fighting against things that aren't going to make a difference. And that's what I believe that we've been doing. I believe that it's about knowing your physical strength. It's about knowing your mental, spiritual, all of those things, because just with our voices alone, we have perpetuated an agenda and a belief system that hasn't served us as a people. But it has been our input, it has been our action, it is us with the music. We created American music. There's no music without we created American music. And the first forms of education were liberal arts, were music, were you a performer, were the things that you can naturally do with your ability. You have the ability to create things, to come up with things, to figure out science, to figure out mysteries that you were not supposed to learn. And I was a child born like that. We need to realize, like Langston Hughes said, nobody loves the genius child. All they want to do is kill him. Langston said this. So we just really need to go back and grab these messages from our elders and from our ancestors, from our thought processes, from our dreams, from our poems, from our songs, from everything that we are, and use it for ourselves because everyone else is using it for them. They come into our community and create businesses that we don't create. The donut shop, to our community, we have indifference because people feel like, oh, they can't get what they need from our businesses. The prices are too high. But we need to start holding merchants accountable. Do business with us the right way. If we got a black business in the community, don't make it a black business that depends on black people patronizing the business. Make it an excellent business so everybody patronizes us. We need to start making it do what they're supposed to do with us. And I believe that our spirit and what we believe in is what we're lacking. We're afraid. We become complacent, and we need to face our fears because this fear is holding us back as people. It really is. We're afraid to learn. We're scared to go to school. We're scared to do what it is. If the curriculum is not for you, go learn something else. Figure out what it is that you are that is a contribution to you and your people. On the whole, we need to be selfless and stop being so hateful towards each other because of what we believe in. Don't let religion make you hate your kids. A lot of us, we locked our sons and daughters out because they sold drugs. We hated them. They died. I have a brother that was just killed in prison. I won't go into that, but he was killed by somebody who was mentally disturbed. And they knew he went on a rampage and attacked 10 people in 1 hour. So we do need to address our real issues and really love each other because other than that, we're not vibrating on the proper frequencies.
You want me to walk away with?
Well, I guess, I don't reiterate what this is, you said, I agree with what you said, it's true that.
Hey, Evan, y'all gonna have to be quiet, man.
Is that,
We're gonna put y'all out.
is that ultimately, if we want to start making the kind of movies that we want to see, is up to us. Hollywood's not going to do it, we've never done it. The blueprint's already been done, I mean, we already have Spike did it, Robert Townsend did it, John Singleton as well, although actually he was financed by Columbia. But the main important thing we did. And it's up to us to make, our own movies and to create our icons, the image that we want to present them in. So I challenge anyone here, including myself, those of you who don't like this Harriet Tubman film, let's make another movie of Harriet Tubman. Make our own.
I guess I go back to my original statement. The future only change if we build the future, and that's with children. And I do have to put, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Rob Ford, Creative Minds, graduated from Crenshaw class of '97. He is a filmmaker. He actually helped produce Shut Up and Dribble, and he was my history student. So the whole time he was doing that documentary, he kept texting me what he recalled from learning in history. So part of my commitment is to continue to make sure generations of children know their history so that that history is reflected in whatever they choose to do.
All right. I hope everybody enjoyed the discussion. If you did, clap your hands. Even those of you who eat fried chicken right now. That's the fried chicken you can roll up here. So my name is Brandon, and I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. And I've been here in LA for about 33 years now. Came here in 1987. $45 in my pocket, slept in a abandoned motel on Crenshaw and 67th until I got a job 3 days later at the Warehouse Record Store in Torrance, California. And I would get on the 40 bus, was it 40 or the 210? I think it was the 210. Go down there. Then I got into LA Southwest College and got my AA degree from over there. And used to walk from 67 in Crenshaw to Imperial and Western to go to Southwest College, got my degree. And then went from there to Vegas Hills. And when I graduated, I opened an organization, started an organization called Fighters for African Mental Liberation International, family organization. So we've been around since then. We were instrumental in the Great Truth movement of the early 1990s, working with Lil Monster, I.T., Ray Ray, Playboy, and all the other young gangsters from, at that time, young OGs from Watts, Grape Street, all over the place. So that's part of my history. I want to tell you about my organization because that's why we're here today, because we have an organization. It's not me, it's the organization that puts on events like this. So what you're doing right now is you're taking part in the I've Known Rivers Film Festival of Arts, Culture, and Education. This is our 8th year doing this event. A lot of people don't know about it because we guerrilla. Guerrilla means you get it done by any means necessary. So we got films going on right now that black people haven't seen. We showed one yesterday called Negroes with Guns. How many of y'all know who Robert Williams is? Raise your hand. Robert Williams. If it wasn't for Robert Williams, there would be no Black Panther Party. So we showed a film on his life yesterday that most people didn't know about, and that's why we exist. We put out films that we need to see. There's a film called Nothing But a Man, 1963. Anybody ever seen Ivan Dixon?
Ivan Dixon and Abby Lincoln.
We showed a film called Take a Giant Step this morning with Brother Johnny Nash, 1959. So we're showing films, some of them on YouTube, but we don't even know that we don't know because we just don't know. So we put all this together, put these films together. This is our last day this weekend. We'll be doing it every year, twice next year, because I missed a year when I had to go back to USC and get my master's degree from USC. Made the military pay for it since I went when I was 19 years old and signed up. Got my master's degree, take a year off, so we're gonna do 2 next year. So we got a call for volunteers. Anybody want to get down with us? Here's the main thing that we do. 3 days a week, from 11 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, we had Lock High in Watts. A lot of us forgot about Watts. But there was at one time, when you first came to LA, you had to go to Watts because white folks wouldn't let you live over here. Negroes couldn't live over here until the early 60s. So you had to live in Watts. Now a lot of us act like Watts don't exist. And when you say it, there are connotations that come into the mind. Gangs, drugs, violence, etc. We in Watts every day. It's a beautiful community, beautiful people in Watts. I love Watts. I'm there 3 days a week with the See a Man, Be a Man, and Princess to Queen programs. And we need mentors. We need people to help us with the young people. I don't get paid for what I do there. I make my money elsewhere. I'm a professional entertainer, and I travel the world singing and writing songs and teaching. That's how I make my money. So I go into Lock High on my own dime. We've been there 6 years, and let me tell you what we've done. In a school that only produces a 40% graduation rate, the See a Man, Be a Man, and Princess to Queen programs have a 100% black graduation rate. 100%. Now, if y'all don't clap on that, then you get your ass out of here and go somewhere else. So even if you don't volunteer, y'all can support us online. When you see me post something, post it again, push it out there. Because we're dealing with only black youth. That's all we deal with. I'm not against anybody, but I was brought to that school to deal with black youth who were failing miserably. And I want to say this, and my brother John sent it to me yesterday. I said I'm from New Orleans. In New Orleans, what happened in New Orleans happened at warp speed. And what do I mean? Anybody remember Katrina Storm, 2005? Yeah. Katrina Storm is something that's happening all over America, but it happened in New Orleans in 1 week. It's happening right here. You see people that you've never seen before walking their dogs up and down the street. Biff and Molly and Hallie and Heaven. Walking the dogs up and down the street. That's all right. But what's happening to us? We're getting pushed out. Educationally, in New Orleans, every school in that city is a charter school. 100% of the schools in New Orleans, 100% are charter schools. There's a war going on right now, intellectual war, political war. And if the American Negro doesn't wake up and stop arguing with each other about foolishness, then we're going to be sitting here 20 years from now talking the same stuff while they're making coffee and donuts over there. Y'all feel me? So I issue the challenge. If you can't volunteer with the program, because we have the one program that goes into the schools, and my curriculum that I wrote called The Roots is a curriculum that has been codified by the school system. So the kids who come to my courses, they get a grade for those classes. They're not just coming there after school or just coming there because it's an elective. They're learning what we call life mastery. It's an 8-9 point curriculum. It starts out with spirituality, culture, career, education, economics, politics, health, the family, and at the end of the year, personal responsibility is what they learn. They learn how to govern their lives, how to write their own books, how to be the authors of their own stories. And at the end of the year, we take the young brothers out and buy them a brand new suit, shoes, socks, tie, and bring them to a 5-star restaurant. Now here's the question I got for y'all. Name a black-owned 5-star restaurant in Los Angeles. I'll give you $250,000 right now. Name a black-owned restaurant that's 5 stars in Los Angeles. No? Wrong. And don't say Harold and Mel's. They don't even have 1 star. 5-star. And if you say Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, then I'm gonna have to get somebody else to smack you, because I don't have the time. There are no 5-star black-owned restaurants in this city. It's a damn shame in a city as large as this, and we with all this money. Who said that? What you said? What? Oh, no. Hot and Cool is 10-star. Let's do it for Hot and Cool. Hot and Cool is 10-star. Let's do it for Anthony, y'all. For Hot and Cool. He got 10 stars. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna bring the young brothers over here next time.
What about Shaquille O'Neal's restaurant?
Shaquille O'Neal's restaurant. What's the name? Downtown. Is it black owned by him? Just him? Or does he have partners? But Tyler Perry owns his studio 100%.
I'm not sure.
Well, I know about Shaq, he knows. So let's research that. If that's true, then I'll bring my boys there this year. Go ahead, brother, sister.
Sweet Chick is not this restaurant.
Huh?
Sweet Chick.
Is it 5-star?
It's upscale though.
Check it out for me.
Where's it at?
Check it out. I got my business cards right here.
It's on Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Yeah.
Mine's over there. Maybe, you know something? I know what you're talking about. It's not 5-star.
It's not, but it's upscale.
But it's nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it wasn't nice. I didn't say we didn't have nice own restaurants. But I want y'all to understand. We do another thing we do in my organization. Every August we go to New Orleans for a historical tour. If you don't know it, if it wasn't for New Orleans, there wouldn't be no America. Check out the Louisiana Purchase, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Check out the Haitian Revolution, find Haitian blood in my body, and you'll find out what I'm talking about New Orleans. So if you haven't been to New Orleans, if you've been there for the Essence Festival, that's cool, but that ain't nothing. That's just a party. I mean, I ain't saying that ain't nothing yellow there. I don't want to perform there. I'm just saying, Mardi Gras, that's cool. But when you go to New Orleans, I'm gonna take you to places that you've never been before, right? Every August we go down there, so put that on your calendar. Get with us for the annual tour to New Orleans. You know, show you where Plessy versus Ferguson happened in 1896. Anyway, to wrap up, we want all of you to visit the website, www.familysoul.org or sambam.us, SAMBAM. Get involved with the young people. That's why we're doing this event, for the young people. We got Princess and Queen, we got young sisters that need y'all. They need y'all. So 9th through 12th grade, come on and volunteer with us. If you can't volunteer, give them $2 a month, and we can take them to Africa. We're going on the Black College Tour alongside my brother from the G5G fraternity, not fraternity, social fellowship organization. And we're doing a whole lot. So y'all get with us. We got films going on at the world stage right now and at Barbara Morrison. And we got 2 filmmakers in there, Paul Higgins, the nephew of Billy Higgins, the great drummer. And where's my boy Zarion? He's back in the back. He did a film on Nipsey that y'all should see. And they don't talk about their career, their films and stuff like that. We might do it here if we got enough time. Right? We'll see. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But anyway, my boy wanted to come up and do a little chant for us. Let's give it up for all the panelists. My sister, Keisha, Rashad, Sister Florence.
What's up, Black Family? Peace. Can everybody stand up? Loosen up. Smile. Laugh. Just want to do a little chant about to close out. I want everybody to repeat after me. Matter of fact, before I say this, before I do this, if anybody's scared to say Black Power, I feel sorry for you. Because I'm black and I'm proud. Everybody put y'all fists in y'all ear, put the fists in the air. Unapologetically black. And say, no, not right now. I'll tell y'all, right now, repeat after me. One man. Say it loud. One man. One child. One woman. One community at a time. One community at a time. Until we are one. Until we are one. A united race. Everybody do this. 5 fingers. 1 fist. Black power. Black power. Black power. That's right.
Let me get a picture of all y'all down here. Oh, she got a camera. Sister right here. She's one of the greatest photographers in the world. You're heavy. Phoenix. I'm gonna take you solo with it, bro.
Come together like y'all like.
Everybody say, how cool.
me on Facebook, right? Love you, baby.
All right, so we're gonna have the panel at the world stage, but we're gonna do it at the world stage. Since we had a cripple breakdown in Barbara Parsons, we're gonna do it at the world stage in just a minute. So y'all spread out and go see the rest of the village. You know what I'm saying? Come back here and spend your money at hot food. Buy something. Don't just sit here studying all day. Buy something. Spend money. All right? You can't stay open if you just come here and study all day. Buy something. Spend some money. Or go to Starbucks, damn it.
To give us